What's up, everybody? It's Tim here with Vulcan Boats. Wanted to unveil my first boat, my prototype, the 1550 flat bottom that I have been working on the past couple weeks. I'm just waiting on a few things to come in. Nothing that is going to change the design. It's just the bow eye and stern eyes that I'm waiting to come in. That being said, I'm going to go show over everything that I've done on this boat, what all I'm going to be offering, and why I believe that I will be able to get on par with some of the larger manufacturers, and also that I can be on par with them and have a fair price on these boats. For one reason, I don't have the overhead cost, so that's a little thing to look at. That being said, of course, that I'm a smaller company. Most of your bigger name brands are going to have slightly better quality than what I do, and that is simply because I don't have the shop to build this in. Of course, I'm building this outside. I don't have the big industrial machines. I don't have all the brakes to bend the metal, so everything, if it has a radius to it, it's not bent, it is cut and welded in. Eventually, hopefully, that won't be the case. Also, again, don't have the giant shop to fit this in. Again, hopefully in the future that will change. So we're going to go over what all I've got done on here and what I will be offering on this boat. Now I want to keep in mind this is just base model. This is how I plan to build every single boat on the very base plan. So if you don't want any storage in the boat, these are how it's going to come set up. This is just the base design. Of course, you can add storage, whether it's rod boxes or a rear deck or storage up front, and that will allow you to have a extended front deck. You will go from a 3-foot front deck to a 5-foot front deck. That being said, we're going to go ahead, look at all this, go over what all I've done, and the usage of some of the pieces that I've put on here. All right, let's go. I'm having to use my pen here, and it doesn't want to work. All right, so the first thing we're going to go over today is foam boxes, your flotation. There's a lot of myths on flotation foam. I know a lot of people have probably seen posts saying flotation foam is a scam, don't put it in here, blah, blah, blah. Flotation foam is not a scam. Now, if you've seen videos of people pulling the foam out of their boat and they squeeze it and it's just saturated with water, that's the incorrect foam, and if the manufacturer put it in there, that's a big no-no. 9 times out of 10, it's normally somebody who previously owned the boat had put open cell in there, because open cell is way cheaper. It's about a third of the cost of closed cell foam. So we want to get that out of the way. Closed cell foam is a requirement by the United States Coast Guard. Also, it is a means of safety. So closed cell foam is intended to be inside of the boat. One, it helps with structural integrity. It helps keep the boat from flexing, especially when it's put into areas where it can fill its own void. And once it's sealed off, that allows a waterproof storage area filled with 2-pound, this is 2-pound density, 2-pound density foam. Now, as you can see, these boxes are not 2 cubic square feet, or 1 cubic square foot. So 1 cubic square foot of 2-pound density closed cell foam can hold 60 pounds. These 2 boxes are roughly 5 cubic square feet. So you got 10 cubic square feet here in the back. You've got right at 10 cubic square feet in the sides, or excuse me, let me take that back, 10 cubic square feet in the flooring. You've got about 5 cubic square feet in your sides, and then roughly 13 cubic square feet in the very front deck. And I will show you how large this front deck is and why I'm saying there's so much flotation up there. So you've got extra large foam boxes. So these can either double as just your seat, or of course, if you want to get it ordered, this is the base model. I'm not adding anything extra in here. You would, of course, if you want a back deck, you would have a back deck right here. You see the 2 mounts up here on top, these 2 boxes. Now these boxes have openings on either side. Now this will have plates that will be riveted and siliconed on. Now what these plates are for is, for one purpose, it is meant for your stern light. Of course, you know you got to have navigation lights. You've got a red and a green up front, and you have a white in the back. That is your stern light. These are to be for your stern lights and for an anchor plate. So if you need to mount an anchor, you got an anchor mount right there. Whether you want to rivet or bolt it down. Bolt it down is the best way to do that. I've seen people rivet it. Not a good idea. You need to bolt these down. In these foam boxes, we have an 1.5 inch aluminum tubing that goes all the way through the foam boxes. It comes in right here. You can see the sub hole that we've got. This sub hole is solid foam as well. And the reason why, one, that's to help with strength to the sides of the boat, helps with sound deadening, and also helps with your buoyancy. Not only that, I wanted a way to hide all forms of wiring while keeping the floor 100% watertight. This is a watertight floor, so there's nothing running underneath this floor. You've got your hull, our flotation foam, all your cross members, and your mounting plates. Now you do have plates in here where you can rivet down seats. Now whenever you go to rivet down seats, of course, you're going to need to silicone these. Do not just rivet them down, because you're creating a hole and it needs to be sealed. So you'll have a row of plates all the way up front in between our cross members to allow seats to be bolted down. We've got our piping at the very top of this box on our sub hole that goes up to the front, and this allows all your wiring to pass through. What this also does allow is, in case you want to have your fuel tank up front, which helps with weight distribution depending on the size of the motor that you've got on the back of the boat. That way you can run your electrical wiring on one side and your fuel on the other. So I'm going to go ahead and pause again. We're going to show the very front end of the boat and show what all I've added on there. And let's see if we can get this thing to pause on the right time. All right, so get over here. So what we got up front here is we've got, and it is symmetrical on either side. So when I was talking about our large deck starts here and goes all the way 4 inches past the start of this. This is solid foam. It goes all the way down. There's nothing running through here. There's no voids in here. This is a solid deck, and we've got our heavy duty cross members in here. So whenever you stand, there's no buckling. This doesn't pop any. You ain't gotta worry about the sun making it wanting to pop up. So your mounts here, you've got one on either side. As you can see, the openings. These are meant for, one, this access is so you can put your bow lights on, your port and starboard light, and run all your wiring. And so the way this box is designed is this is completely open from here all the way up front. It's completely open. That way you can run your wiring, and no matter whichever way you want it to go, you can run it. At the very back end of this box, there's a 1.5 inch hole drilled through the plate that allows you to run your wiring underneath and go through the side ports. Of course, with your very top end of your deck at the nose. Now this, you can, depending on the type of lights you get, you can either put your bow light up front, you can put light bars up here as well, or if you want to add anything else up here, you can add it up here. You've also got a heavy duty cross member right here. You can actually kind of see part of it. That will be a design change in the future. Also, what these plates, excuse me, I'm trying to get the wording. What these plates also serve as is for your trolling motor mount. Mount your trolling motor up here. That way you've got perfect access. All your wiring can be run through. You can drill another port if needed to, put a rubber grommet. You do not have to worry about water getting into these. Of course, like I said, it's got the hole drilled in the bottom, watertight up front. The water will drain out of here. Don't have to worry about that. So, why do I believe I can be on par with a lot of the other manufacturers? I'm about to get to that. So y'all hang tight. We'll go ahead and move the camera again, and I'm going to get to you onto why I believe I'm going to be on par with some of the larger manufacturers. So why do I believe I will be on par with some of the larger manufacturers, whether it's I don't want to say any names, but we know who the big boats are. For one reason, as y'all can see what I've built, I don't have jigs for this. I don't have a large table to put this on. I don't have a CNC plasma. All of this is cut out with a handheld plasma, a saw, well, two saws, a circular saw, bandsaw, and a lot of patience and time. All of this is drawn out by hand. I do all the measurements by hand. So the fact that I'm able to do this and not have all the equipment that some of our larger manufacturers have. You know, these larger manufacturers, they've got dies. You know, some of these guys, they take full sheets and they've got this special die where they stamp out the hull. And you know, you've got that perfect bend in the side for your stiffening, which is great. I like how they do that. I don't have that. I'm a small guy, so I don't have those tools, but I'm able to, you know, build a reasonably looking boat with minimal tools. And you know, of course, my build time is going to be a little bit longer, being that I'm doing this all by hand. But that being said, I don't have the overhead costs that a lot of the larger manufacturers have. So that's something that I've got going for me. So all I've got left on this boat is some bow eyes. I've got to do weight testing, buoyancy testing, and once I go through all that, this boat can be up for sale. And now I'm going to talk about my customization. So as y'all saw, this boat has nothing in there, no extra storage. And I'm going to go over, I'm going to move the camera around and explain the customizations that I'm talking about that will get put into these boats. So we're going to go over that real quick. So as you can see up front right here, this is completely open. Now, up front, if you want front storage would come all the way to the very end of that sub hull right there. It would fit to the very top of this plate. That would be your front storage. Large front storage, one to hold your batteries. If you want a fuel tank up in there, there'll be a different design when it comes to fuel tanks. Essentially, it will have a small subfloor where the actual tank itself would sit down on the floor, and then your actual storage would be right above that. I will also be offering side storage. So as you can see where this line is right here, that's where your storage would start for your rod boxes, come all the way across, and they would be flush mount side opening. Again, you can do that on both sides. Rear deck, we can offer a rear deck on here that will be fitting right there on that curve, fit flush across. And this can either be just to have a rear deck. If you want it to be also storage as well, we can do that. I can also do an extended storage where it would come to the very front. So the normal size deck would come to here, extended deck would come here. I do want to go over one thing about live wells. So I do plan to offer live wells, but I only plan to offer one design. And the reason of that is, one, for multi-purpose functionality, and two, for weight distribution. So most of your bigger, larger manufacturers, you know, live wells put on the side. And that is a very common thing to do. A lot of manufacturers do that. They put it on the side, and that's fine. With me, you're adding a little bit of weight to that side, so it's going to throw off the balance. What I plan to do is you're going to have a live well that will have a pipe welded to it that is welded underneath the floor to have a drain. Of course, you'll have a little drain plug that will go inside that live well. All you got to do is pull that live well out and it will drain out the back of the boat. But it will be, this live well will be mounted to the floor. There'll be a drain pipe welded through that, going completely out. And this will be a watertight drain as well. So once that live well is put in there, it will be a permanent fixture. Now, the other way I plan to design these live wells is the live well will also double as a cooler. This will be an insulated live well all the way around, except for the lid. The lid won't be insulated, simply because of the design that it would take to make that work. But you will have a fully insulated live well. That way, let's say you're not going fishing, you just want a day out on the creek, you want to be able to, you know, have you a couple cold drinks and all like that, got some sandwich meat and all, you've got a cooler already built into the boat. You don't have to pack up a cooler. You just stop by your Dollar General, your gas station, throw your ice in there, throw all your drinks in there and your food, and you ain't got to worry about it. You've already got your cooler. And then whenever you don't have to worry about lugging it in and out to drain it, you just pull your plug, let the ice melt, leave the lid open, let the ice melt out. You're good to go. So that's what all I'm going to be offering on these boats. The other thing I do want to offer is I will be, depending on if you put an order in and what you're wanting, I will be offering flotation pods. Now this boat does not have them yet. But if somebody is going to buy this boat, I am 100% willing to put flotation pods on here. The other thing I do plan to offer on these boats, it'll have a different transom design, but a swim deck. I'm sure y'all have seen that, where the transom is actually, you've got the motor right in the middle, and then you've got this small deck to the side of that boat, or to the side of the motor. And then you actually have the regular transom that comes back up. That is your normal height of your boat. I do plan to offer those as well. This one I just didn't do it simply because that would be like an add-on. It would still be a 15 foot, but you would lose a little bit of internal space. So that's something to consider as well. Now, whenever it comes terms to that, you would lose, we would have slightly shorter foam boxes simply because we'd be adding more flotation into the swim deck itself. So you'd have your flotation there. So if y'all like this, please share, please talk to your friends, let them know that I'm out here. Again, this is my first boat, still got some testing I've got to do on it. Also, when it comes to paint configurations, flooring, I do want to say that I am not offering aluminum finish, and I will tell you why. So aluminum finish looks amazing when it's brand new. It looks nice and shiny. But the second you put it in water, especially salt water, if it's not clear coated, that finish is ruined. It will not be shiny anymore. It's done for. So I'll only be offering painted boats. Now for flooring, I'm not offering carpet, simply because to me carpet it's a cheap flooring for a high price. And why I say that, one, it takes a lot of time to put that flooring down. And if, let's say, you don't have a carport to put your boat in, or you don't have, let's say, a tarp to put the boat in, and the sun gets to that carpet, it's going to dry rot. Or if you're going fishing and you get stuff in there, it's going to stink. There's a lot of work that goes into these floors, into the carpet. You've got to wash it. Okay, if you would wash a carpet in your house, that's how you got to wash a carpet in these boats. You got to clean them, put soap, scrub them. A lot of work. A lot of us don't do that. So to me, it's not a good investment on a boat. I will be offering vinyl flooring. This is UV resistant vinyl flooring. And this stuff is waterproof. You just spray it down, let everything rinse off of it. You're good to go. I'm also going to be offering the SeaDek. That is the brand name. Doesn't matter the brand. I'll be using a SeaDekking, a EVA foam. And the reason why is, one, the affordability. It's a little bit cheaper than the vinyl flooring. But it's also the comfortability. It's a foam material. It's water resistant, UV resistant. Of course, this stuff, it's not 100% UV. We know how the sun is, but it will last you several years if taken care of properly. Now, how do we take care of this properly? Don't leave fish guts in there. Don't leave corrosive stuff. Rinse it out with a water hose or pressure washer. Let all that stuff drain out, and you'll be good to go. The interior paint, so even whether you get flooring or decking or what have you, whatever you want, the interior of the boat will also be painted with a textured paint similar to bed liner. And one, that's to help with added grip, also for just simple looks. And for that paint, I plan to get a clear textured paint where I can add in pigment. So if you want a special color or anything like that, I could make that color. We could figure out the pigments and paint it that color. So let's say you want a metallic dark green textured paint. I can do that. I'll be able to do that. If you want a purple textured paint, we can do that. You know, lime green, whatever color you want, I'll be able to do that. So that's what all I'm offering. If y'all like this, you know, please share, please follow, let your friends know. Again, this is kind of on the back burner right now. This is not my primary means of income. This is a business venture for me. Hopefully this will take off the way I'm hoping it will. So if any of y'all are interested in this boat, feel free to reach out to me. Y'all are 100% allowed to stop by and take a look at this and see what all you like. Again, it's not perfect. This is my prototype. A few design flaws that I've realized working on this, and ways I know to get around that on the very next one where I will not have the same issues. And the design flaws I'm talking about there, it's minor stuff. Mainly it's just, to me, you know, I critique myself a lot when it comes to visibility. And to me, the design flaws are uniform. You would not know that it was a design flaw, so I'm not going to go over it. To me, it's a design flaw. But I already know what to change on the next boat. I know where to upgrade on what I need. So, yeah, thank y'all for following me. You know, I hope this gets something, you know, that I would be able to do this further in the future and turn this into something a little bit more than what I'm dreaming about. My plan is to build 10 of these a year. 10 of these a year, you know, for me, I would be sitting comfortably. I'm not gonna make, you know, I'm not gonna become rich, but it would allow me to be comfortable doing this full time. So if y'all are wanting a boat built and you're in the market for it, you know, give me a message. Of course, I'm waiting on my safety approval seal. I've just got a few things I got to do before I can do that. So that's no big deal there. But a few things I got to do before I can actually build one. But if you're interested, go ahead, send me a message. I'll figure everything out. We'll figure out how much it would cost you to do, what your down payment would be, all like that. So thank y'all.